From the bottom line, we go to the Ghana Stock Exchange to look at how companies are faring regarding their performance on the equity market. Today, it's exciting. If you look at the board, we see the composite index jumping by whooping 36.43 points. The financial index also was up by 2.17 points, and the year-to-date change has crossed the 50 mark. It's now 52.87%, while the financial stock is 16.74%. Let's go to the board to find out which equities drove these performance that we're seeing today. It seems that the market has been bullish and was led by Bank, which registered 2 pesos. It started the day's trading at 78 pesos. Now it is doing 80 pesos at the close of trading today, and Bank sold about 5,000 shares today, and so it was valued at 4,000 Ghana cedis. But as usual, MTN, which has been driving the equities market in Ghana, registered a price change of 3 pesos, that's 0.03 pesos, and sold a whooping 1.4 million shares, and it was valued at 1.9 million Ghana cedis. So it's been exciting on the market today, and if you look critically, GCB also sold 270 shares for today, and then Stanchart did 1,500 shares. Moving downwards, we see again none of them, so we're doing the total at 1.4 million shares for the day. So this is how the market fared today. It's been exciting. We hope that it continues to stay beyond the 50 mark, because we've been trusting that the performance of the equity will go beyond the 50 mark. So we'll go for a short break. When we come back, we're going to look at a loan, whether it's a hurdle or a leap. Hello, welcome back to Market Avenue. COP26, that's Conference of the Parties, is in the second week. We have Ghanaians there, and with us on the line via Zoom is Dr. Ntwibose, who is in charge of climate change at the EPA in Ghana Environmental Protection Agency. Doc, you're welcome. Hello. Hello, Doc.
Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Great. Now, week one has passed. We are in the second week. Can you do a summary for us regards to week one, what has been achieved so far, and what is before in the second week as well?
Your network is a bit
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Oh,
yes.
Great. So if I heard you, you were asking about how the first week went.
Yes, please.
And then how are we strategizing for the second week?
Exactly.
Right? Wonderful. Okay, so good evening to your viewers and listeners. So the first week actually was, as I indicated from the beginning, was for technical negotiations. And the essence of the meeting was for negotiators to look at all the agenda items on the table, from finance to mitigation to markets, all of them, so that the decisions or conclusions that are made are presented in the second week for the ministers to look at them and then approve. So that was basically for the first week. A lot of the issues were not, let me say, it didn't go well because, developing countries came in with intention to get good decisions on finance and then also on adaptation, mainly on global goal and adaptation and then also adaptation financing. Developing countries also came in to get a good decision on loss and damage, which is affecting especially small island states. Developing countries actually came in to get a decision on markets, especially Article 6.2, 6.4. And so there are a lot of pushbacks in the first week. It is not lost yet. These decisions are going to be considered this week, starting from tomorrow, by the ministers from all these countries. So this is how far we have come for the first week.
So what is the agenda for the second week? You said
there's questions probably you can ask, then I can.
The agenda for the second week, what is before you now?
Okay, so the agenda for the second week is basically a continuation, as I said, a continuation of the first week. But now to come to specifics, we are going to look at the long-term finance goal, which is starting from 2025. Vis-a-vis the 100 billion pledge that was made and was never delivered. So now what the ministers are going to look at is going into the long-term climate financing starting 2025. What will be the guide and promise into the system so that developing country parties will be able to actually have confidence in whatever we are doing. So that will be one of the things that will be on the agenda item. There are also issues on loss and damage. There's a call for developed country parties to actually support developed country parties who are vulnerable to impact of climate change, especially issues related to loss and damage. So that will also be taken up by the ministers this week. There's also an issue of the global goal on adaptation. If you look at Article 7.1 of the Paris Agreement, it talks about recognizing a global goal on adaptation. What this means is that adaptation should be measured as mitigation has been in the past. But then the Paris Agreement didn't give any guidance on how the global goal on adaptation is going to be operationalized. up to now, we haven't had, as developing country parties, a good discussion on this. Anytime it is raised, it's being pushed back by the developed country parties. This week, the ministers will pick this one up and then also discuss it. And so there are a number of issues that are on the table that are supposed, but high on the agenda is finance.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Nchibose, for your time. God willing, will come your way again tomorrow to see how the ministers are from developing countries are pushing through to get what is being on the table for all this while.
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. That was Dr. Nchibose Akon, Director in charge of climate change at the EPA in Ghana. Now we're going straight to have the discussion about the issue of loan, whether a loan is a hurdle or a leap. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Market Avenue. With me to the discussion again is my brother Kwesi. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Evans, long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Great to see you again.
Thank you.
Now, great. Give us loans. We hear a lot of guys who have gone into startups in Lokiam find it difficult, not only in Ghana, across Africa. We have the African Continental Free today we have before us. So, to be able to penetrate into the market, loan plays a crucial role. To you, when we say loan is a hurdle, what exactly do we mean by being a hurdle, a loan?
Thanks so much for having me again. I'm speaking as an ordinary Ghanaian. Regardless of all the things that I do, I want to wear the shoes of the ordinary. And I should say, it depends on which angle you are looking at it from. To somebody it's a hurdle, the other person is a leap. But let's talk on the hurdle part. If you do not have a plan, you know you can have a bad debt. Loan, something that is a breach for somebody, a bill for somebody, right? So it is important to understand if you don't have a plan for that loan and you get it because you have access to it. I was on a set 2 years ago and I was talking to people about success is access. Access is success. If you don't have access to the opportunity, you can't get it. So to me, it's a hurdle if you cannot pay back. It's a hurdle if you don't have a good financial plan onto what you want to use the money for. It's a hurdle if you want to use it just to go and show off and go to Dubai and come back. It's a hurdle if you don't have a stable income. It's a hurdle if you don't have a good plan towards how you're going to measure that to pay back. It's also a hurdle, most importantly, if your debt interest is higher than the loan interest, meaning the loan interest should be higher than the debt interest. So that is where the hurdle comes in, as far as I'm concerned, on a very short or very high level.
Wonderful. Great. Let's look at being a leap.
It's the reverse. I think I can end to say, if you have a lot of people today they desire for the best, especially the youth. We are hardworking, we are smart. When I say we, I'm not a youth. I'm older than that now. I look young, but I'm blessed to just have a good gene. But the truth is, the youth are smart. The youth of Africa, the youth of Ghana, they're smart. They want to do something. There's a job and employment, and they want to do something for themselves. Unfortunately, the help is not as there as they want it. So then, for those who need that help, that have a good financial plan, that have good coaches and guides to help them succeed, they would see the success of that loan. They don't even feel it. They see that loan to be a leap for them to succeed. So you give someone, for instance, 100,000 Ghana to start a small business, or even 10,000. Sometimes we go too high. Somebody just needs 1,000 Ghana to start something. You'll be surprised in the net, because they have a good plan, they have a model that they can work with. Within 6 months to a year, depends on what they are investing in or they are putting the money in, to reap that times 10. Others will have the same amount of money, but trust me, within the next 2 weeks, they'll come back for you for another loan because they don't have a good plan. They don't have people who are guiding them. They don't watch people. So it depends on which angle, but that's the lip side of loan.
Right, so let's stick to the left side of it.
Yeah.
So I'm a young man, want to have a startup. How do I come up with the plan to be able to stay on the safer side, not to make a loan or turn my loan into a hurdle?
Okay, so let's talking about plan. I'll use a word to come for the plan. We all need what we call strategic plan or business plan. A lot of people think having a business plan means you are looking for a loan or you are going for the bank for money. First and foremost, you need a business plan for your own business to know where the business is. That's the whole idea of a business plan. The banks or others who are helping only need it. That's why you need to guide them. So when they ask for a business plan, it's just because you already have it. It's not now before you are going to think of how to do. That's where the failure comes in. But I think that if you have a good system, your marketing systems are there, your financials, your goal, that's why people need to understand what a vision and a mission is. Because the vision is all things being equal. I want to make the world a better place by everybody have clean water. That's the vision, the big vision. I'm using that as an example. However, you don't have that now. So how do you plan yourself to know that these are the deliverables that you can go through every day? Today, I'll feed 2 people with a cup of water and I'll get returns. I'll get 10 people. You are making impact and also making. I'm a social enterprise guy. I like to make money, but I would like to make impact. So I love that aspect. You have those plans in place. I think you will be successful to make sure that it is there and you've tested it. A lot of people have plans on paper, but it's not been tested. So when the challenges, the turbulences come, they cannot withstand it. So how do you put those plans, not just on paper, you've tried and tested it, and to be successful in those steps?
Talking about success, I'm putting the deliverables out there. How do I make sure that as a startup person, let's say I'm into cutty cake.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
I'm into cutty cake. How do I, with my 1,000 Ghana cedis, I just want to be practical. You give me a loan of 1,000 Ghana cedis. How do I put these things down to make sure that I'm able to reach out to maybe 20 or 30 people a day to be able to sell these cutty cake and be able to pay back, maybe have 2 or 3 months?
Okay, so right now, people are no more buying products. They are buying packaging. All right? So let's start that. You know, everybody's rushing to do something. So then, I would buy, and especially even with COVID now, I want to see hygienic, everything well packaged and where it's positioned. When I'm buying something on the street, I want to see, I think about where it's coming from, not where it is. So people are looking at, I'm a logistician, so I look at process. So I thought, where is this position? Is it decent for me to go and buy? So positioning is important. Packaging is important.
So you're telling the young man out there, don't put it beside a gutter there.
Come on, you will not get me to buy.
Great.
You get somebody else. So the point is, and maybe others may help you, those who truly will help you will not come to the gutter to buy. So sometimes we make our life so a little bit too difficult and we go and pray about it. It's just common sense. So just get off the gutter, or, or cover it and make sure it's a very decent, because people are very hygienic conscious. Now also, the reverse side is, if you know where you get your nkati, that's it, granite,
exactly,
to make the nkati kit, it's so expensive. Why don't you start thinking of having 1 acre land? You don't have the land, go rent the land and start building your own thing. So that beginning will be tough, but in the next year you are taking it from your own farm, so that your competitor don't know why yours is cheaper, but better, greater. And by so doing, and then you can write to offices around to say, look, I have this. Others are selling theirs 1 cedi, yours is 80 pesos.
Fantastic.
Your volume is bigger and better than the next person. From that, per unit cost would help you to be a very successful person.
I like that, in the sense that, you see, we need to be practical. We say deliverables. We want to measure it. Someone out there is like, hey, what kind of word is that? So I like that. Yeah, talking about position, let's look at location.
Yes.
How does location help, like you talked about, but I want us to go into details, in attracting the right kind of customers to be able to push your business?
So in marketing, there's something in the 4Ps. It wasn't just theory. Before you promote, you position. That's distribution. You don't promote something and they are looking for it in the village, in Asamakese, and they can't find it. You make sure it's positioned. You spend time to do the background work so that when you announce it on TV or radio to say, we are out, that person is not coming from Asamakese to come and look at your product in Accra or Kumasi. They will look at the next shop. So distribution. So it's about position. Also your target market, to know who you are targeting. Sometimes we are if you're everywhere, you are nowhere. You need to start and grow organically, especially when you don't have the manpower to go all over the world, all over Ghana, all over the city or your community. Start somewhere. Maybe it could be this station right here. You know what? I live around this vicinity. I'll target GBC staff. And everybody who visits around. Wonderful. If you start that, then you start spreading. Then you start looking at offices across. Then you start looking. So there are so many, and it's all the way you present yourself. You cannot come to an office when your armpit is sweating. So you hide under a tree. Know that if it's an hour to the time, go 2 hours before the time, sit under a tree and find yourself. You can still be successful and give yourself a couple of years. You'll be a different, transformed, successful person. And you laugh and you say, gone were the years when I used to do this. Look at me today. So it's just little things so that we don't look at success or business success as having a huge capital. My brother, that's been the biggest challenge I have with my folks here. It's like everybody needs
something huge.
Huge. If you ask every youth, they give you budget. They know how to give you the budget. They don't know how to sustain that budget to be successful. So there's a whole gap, there's a whole value chain of process they need to go through to be successful.
Now, beyond the brick and mortar space, we are online now.
Yeah.
That 1,000 Ghana cedis for market key business, how do I take advantage of digital platform to push?
Thank you. So that even makes it much easier for me in the sense that you are now in a global village. Unlike before, where you have to go physically. Your blessing can be through online. So then you work with a designer, partner with somebody who knows it better to help you so that you can market it. By the way, we don't pay. We like everything free. So sometimes a little pay to buy database of the kind of client you are looking for, who can afford it. Those are things you invest in. You don't bait a fish with an empty hook. You don't bait a big fish with a small meat on it. So it all depends on the type of hook you're looking for. Your vision depends on what is the meat that is on there. So it is very critical to understand that you can use the online. People are making noise, but not everybody stops and says, let me take a look at this. Everybody is there. People are tired, advert fatigue online, Zoom fatigue. You know, Teams fatigue. So people are still getting tired. So make sure that yours is captivative. You have the right coloring. You have the right animations, or people who are in there talking about it. And it's short, succinct, 30 seconds. Pay attention to you. Go to YouTube. Go to Snapchat. Trust me, there are many out there that I can't even mention. Instagram. Make something so captivating that is attracting to the target market. And that target market also needs to be studied. You need to study and know what they want, not what you want, and you provide what they want. That is the marketing link that people are missing.
Wow, that's fantastic, Evans. Great. So a young man with 1,000 cedis going for Kati cake. Now you've talked about research, position yourself both brick and mortar space and the online space. Now, if I get, say, maybe 100 Ghana cedis profit for the first week or first month, how do I make sure that I'm able to manage to move to the next phase?
Very smart question, by the way. Very good question. I'll tell you this. The temptation of spending that 100 cedis immediately is high because our needs are always chasing us. Our aunties, our children, our nieces, ourselves, we need things. Sometimes,
I need some new shoes.
Of course, no, wait, manage that. You know, the gratification is what, so sometimes you need to die for the future. Wow. You need to die for the opportunity. When you plant something, you hope, like this year,